Chosen one. Pause whatever your hands are doing and open your whole being to these words. What I'm about to share will not land gently. Heaven has spoken a decree that your days ahead will blur into a long stretch of deep stillness. This isn't a polite invitation, it's a spiritual order. You are being pulled into a holy enclosure, a divine chamber where your soul will be shielded while unseen. Energies crash and collide around you. The moment you found yourself here was no accident, no coincidence. You were guided to this point because this message had to reach you. Before anything else, you're standing on the boundary of a monumental shift, and forces that want to destroy it are circling close. This stillness you're entering is your armor, your sanctuary, your unseen training ground. If you push against it, you risk delaying all that's waiting for you or losing the very thing meant to save you. This moment is serious. Treat it as such. In the coming days, life may feel motionless, directionless, or heavy with sleep, but that heaviness is your inner world being kept safe from a storm not yet revealed. Before you take another breath forward, stop and honor these next movements. Touch that like button with intention. Join the rising wave of awakened souls climbing to 80,000 strong, and leave the number 99 as your signal, a spiritual beacon showing that you're ready to align with what heaven is orchestrating. If your spirit is truly chosen, you won't look away until every word has entered you. If you dismiss this call, you may walk right past the doorway meant for you. But for those who stay, let this settle deep inside you. Nothing in your life will remain unchanged. This sacred retreat is wrapped in mystery on purpose, and when you emerge, you will not be who you were. Stay focused. Stay present. Your covering, your elevation, and your future are being sealed in this very breath. Listen with the core of your soul. What's unfolding in your body is far beyond ordinary fatigue. This isn't the leftover weight of a long week. This isn't burnout or simple strain. This is holy shutdown. A divine instruction has been spoken over your entire being, commanding your body to surrender. Yet the surrender is not sleep, it is suspension. It is the voice of heaven whispering to your inner workings, be silent. I'm reshaping the hidden layers of your soul. You will soon feel a pull no stimulant can fight, no responsibility can override, and the world around you won't understand it. But heaven understands perfectly, because you are crossing into sacred territory. You might try to resist. Your mind might push you, insisting that there's more to finish, more to handle. But your spirit will thunder louder, telling you to release your grip. You're being led into a depth of rest that feels like days because God is lifting you out of the pressure of time itself. This isn't you pausing your life. This is you being prepared for the one you're meant to step into. Hear this clearly. There is no weakness in what is happening. There is divine intelligence, divine strength, divine love. This is heaven saying, I refuse to let you keep forcing yourself forward on a foundation that's been breaking. Lay everything down. I'm mending what you've built your strength upon. This stillness is miraculous, profound, and beyond anything the mind can categorize. When the physical body powers down, the spiritual body awakens. While your eyelids grow heavy, the eyes of your soul open wide. You are being ushered into the same frequency where heaven moves. This isn't interruption. This is recreation. You're not withdrawing from the world, you're being lifted into God's hold, where what would take years in the natural will take only days in the divine. Your bones will feel the shift. A weight will come over you, not from exhaustion, but from the presence of glory settling on your being. You may set alarms, but they will fade beneath the sacred pull. You may try to rise, but your body will surrender to the process. This isn't laziness. This is divine containment. A holy quarantine of the soul. Angels are stationed around your spirit, blocking out every distraction. You are not permitted to return to full wakefulness yet because heaven is still operating behind the unseen curtain. Each time your eyes try to open, you'll be drawn back into the deep. Why? Because the work isn't complete. You are clay on the wheel of the divine sculptor, and the shaping is ongoing. You are being rebuilt on a cellular level, a neurological level, a spiritual level. God is rewriting reflexes that your body learned in survival. He's tending to wounds that words could never fix. He's softening the places inside you that grew rigid from hardship. This stillness is not a punishment, this is mercy. This is the lifting of burdens too heavy for one soul to carry. This rest is heaven's anesthesia. A spiritual operation is taking place. And if you attempt to move and feel powerless to do so, don't fear, celebrate. It means the work is still in progress. God doesn't need your effort right now. He needs your yielding. Don't battle the quiet. Melt into it. Allow it to cradle you. Something enormous is being conceived in the empty spaces. Even if this moment feels solitary, it isn't. This is divine concealment. Heaven is drawing you away from distractions, people, platforms, demands, not to punish you, but to mend you in the unseen. Like a child developing in hidden waters, you are not deserted. You are guarded. The world cannot witness what's forming beneath the surface. But transformation is happening with every silent hour. Silence isn't blank. Silence is holy. Human isolation is one thing, but divine incubation is another. Heaven doesn't want external hands touching the miracle being assembled within you. No outside voices, no opinions, no noise, only the whisper of God echoing through the quiet spaces of your soul. You are hidden to be healed, because healing at this depth must happen away from the eyes of others. It must be sacred, safe. Still, you're not missing anything. You're being summoned inward. While everyone else rushes and performs for an audience that never stops watching, you are wrapped in divine cocooning. Let them wonder where you are. Let them speculate, because when you rise again, you will not return as who you were. You will rise renewed. Hiddenness is not abandonment. It is selection. Heaven conceals its treasures, and right now you are one of them. You're being kept out of sight, because what God is building in you is more than the world can handle in its unfinished form. Everything outside is trembling, but the command given to you is to remain unmoved. Noise is everywhere. Screens are loud. Worries roar. But the whisper within you is louder, a gentle voice saying, "Stay still. Stay grounded. Let me battle for you." The chaos outside may be real, but the quiet forming inside you is stronger. You don't need to outrun anyone. You don't need to match their pace. You don't need to push like they do, because heaven is completing through stillness what others strain to create, through struggle. Stillness isn't doing nothing. Stillness is sacred action without interference. While the world burns itself out chasing performance, God is teaching you how to live under the covering of purpose. He's recalibrating your inner world, rebalancing your systems, renewing the chemistry of your mind while you simply breathe. This isn't idleness. This is warfare through surrender. Don't envy their speed. Honor your stillness. You are not falling behind. You are obeying the rhythm of the one who formed you. And when others collapse from exhaustion, you will rise with strength untouched by human hands, because while they hurried in frantic circles, you were being cradled in the quiet of the divine. Your stillness has become the anchor of your strength now. Your willingness to follow the whisper of heaven is the breath sustaining you. When the moment arrives for you to move, you will move, but never a moment sooner. You are stepping out of human rhythms and entering the flow of God's unfolding. You are not lagging behind. You are being carried into a realm where clocks lose their rule and eternity takes the lead. You'll notice it soon. Moments will stretch into long passages, and hours will collapse into brief flickers. And the reason is simple. In this sacred space, time bows before God's intention. Your restoration, your alignment, your unfolding breakthrough, none of it depends on earthly delays anymore. You're not being held back. You're being shifted into the landscape of eternity. God is undoing the fingerprints of time on your flesh. He is pausing the erosion that life has etched into you. While others fade under strain, you are being held under grace. In this dimension, your cells begin again. Your strength returns in waves. The creases carved by worry soften in your spirit and even in your body. You are not merely resting. You are being rewritten by timelessness itself. And that, beloved, is a miracle no clock can measure. So do not fear when your structures melt away. Do not resist the current when your body no longer obeys alarms or schedules. This is divine synchronization. God is whispering that what the world calls delay, He calls intentional design. You will emerge from this sacred interval carrying power you didn't earn, understanding you never studied for, and a serenity that nothing can fracture. This is the dimension you're walking in now, the dimension where wonders begin. You may think you've paused all activity, but heaven is moving on your behalf. As you rest, as you release, as you step away from the noise of obligation, God is arranging your financial world. Doors that ignored your efforts are being swung open by angelic force. People who forgot your existence are remembering your name with clarity. Debts are unraveling. Opportunities are aligning. And the stunning part is this: you're not doing anything at all. You are stepping into what it feels like to be blessed without burning out. God is teaching you the true order of provision, not through endless effort, but through grace. Not by anxiety, but by devotion. Your rest is your weapon now. Your sleep is your offering. As you lie down in surrender, God is arranging your agreements, your advancements, your inheritances. He is shifting the very ground beneath your resources. You have fought through every season for every scrap. You've struggled to survive, but that chapter ends here. This is no longer the cycle of scraping by. This is the era of supernatural supply. And you won't witness it because you worked harder. You'll witness it because you obeyed the stillness. God is revealing the mystery of living sustained by favor. There are bonds you mourned, connections you prayed for, and relationships you thought were lost forever. But heaven never abandoned them. In this sacred rest, God is mending hearts that wounded you. He's softening the spirits of people you believed would never shift. And He's doing it without your voice, without your messages, without your need to fix anything. Because healing doesn't always begin with conversations. Sometimes it begins with consecration. As you remain in this holy quiet, heaven is illuminating minds around you. People from your past who couldn't see your purpose are being granted new perception. Family members who focused only on your failures are being shown your becoming. Those who stood against you are losing their grip. Connections are being rewritten from the roots, and you didn't have to push the process. When God hides you, He also manages everything that lingers behind you. Don't pursue. Don't reopen what He's closing. Don't reopen what He's closing. Don't chase what walked away. God is repainting the landscape. This isn't your assignment, it's His. Trust the unfolding. Let Him do the deep surgery. Because when this season of rest lifts, relationships that once lay in ruins will feel newly formed, not because of your effort, but because heaven redeemed them in silence. You haven't realized how old your spirit began to feel, not in age but in strain. The pressure, the survival, the daily burden, it dimmed you. It didn't just consume years, it consumed vitality. It tightened your smile, it muted your joy. But everything shifts now, because what's happening in this divine rest isn't merely spiritual, it's physical. God is reversing the long-term effects of struggle. He's restoring the gentleness inside you. You'll rise with brightness, with youth, with lightness. Your eyes will regain their sparkle. Your posture will lift again. Your face will shine with a glow not born from vacation, but from touching the eternal. You're being immersed in waters of renewal that have no earthly source. This is rejuvenation written into your very biology. Your physical body is catching up to the healing your soul has finally embraced. When people see you again, they'll pause and whisper, "Something is different," and they'll be right. Because the shift will not be just on your skin. It will radiate from your spirit. You will carry a peace that makes you luminous. You will walk with rest that turns into beauty. This isn't surface-level change. This is cosmic transformation. You are being rebuilt by the hands of heaven. Your mind has been a war zone for years. Thoughts running wild, loops repeating themselves, fear humming like static in the backdrop of your days. But in this divine quiet, God is reaching into the very circuits that formed your habits, your reactions, your beliefs, and He is rewriting them. This is holy neuroscience. God is not merely settling your thoughts, He is restructuring them. The voice that criticized you is being hushed. The panic switch you couldn't shut off is being disconnected. The replay of old wounds is being erased. As you sleep, as you yield, heaven is healing memories, dissolving triggers, and ushering in wisdom. You will awaken with solutions you never conceived, with peace where panic used to live, and clarity that didn't come from effort. It came from surrender. This is beyond therapy. This is metamorphosis. You will emerge not only lighter, but thinking with a new mind, seeing with new insight, standing with new mental strength. And the miracle is this: you didn't force it. You allowed God to reshape you in the stillness. You are stepping away from humanity's calendar now and into the dimension of God. Deadlines lose authority here. Marks on the calendar no longer decide your worth. The pressure of "I should have accomplished more by now" is dissolving, because heaven does not move by hours, it moves by kairos, divine timing. You are not late, you are not ahead. You have arrived in perfect alignment with His design. You've carried the weight of time on your shoulders, watching years pass, comparing your journey to others, feeling the ache of being out of sync. But God is whispering, "I am not rushing, and I do not need you to." He is breaking the chains of comparison, of frantic striving, of regret that tries to cling to your spirit. While others race, you will remain centered. While others panic, you will pause, because God has drawn you into a realm where time is not your foe, it is His servant. In this space, time bends to His will. He can compress 10 years of restoration into 10 days. He can recover decades of loss in moments. He can strengthen you through wisdom instead of wear. You are no longer bound to the tyranny of the clock. You are aligned with covenant timing. Let this truth sink deep. You are not running out of time. You are stepping into the fullness of it. You may not yet understand it, but this rest you are experiencing is not simply sleep. It is a crossing. Your body lies in familiar space, but your spirit is traveling through realms. You are being brought into sacred courts. You are being shown mysteries, receiving revelations, absorbing blueprints. This is what occurs when God elevates your calling. He draws your spirit through a doorway into His presence. You may not remember the visions, but you will feel the residue. You will awaken carrying ideas that originate far beyond this world. You'll feel a clarity rising in you that no page has ever delivered. That's how souls are shaped into messengers. Because while your body rested, your spirit walked beside the eternal. You were led into unveiling. You were wrapped inside celestial wisdom. You were never disconnected. You are in communion. This is how messengers are shaped. This is how seers awaken. Not by effort, but by yielding. This rest is a gateway. It is a scheduled encounter in the invisible realm, where the blueprint for your next season is handed to you. You are not misplaced. You are not drifting. You are existing in a space far beyond what ordinary sight understands. And when you rise again, you will not return empty. Yes, this may stretch for days, perhaps longer, and it may unsettle you at first, how deep your rest becomes, how far you feel from daily demands. But do not tremble. This is sacred architecture. Your body is quieting long enough for the divine to complete what only He can. You may think you've stepped away from reality, but truthfully you've stepped into a deeper realm of truth. Your calls may ring without answer. Your plans may stall. Your ambitions may sit untouched, but heaven is operating far above your former pace. And the stillness will be worth more than you imagine. You are not being reprimanded. You are not being punished. You are being guarded from noise, choices, and turns that would have pulled you off course had you stayed awake. So remain where you are. This is holy incubation. The hours may merge into one another, and the world may continue moving, but you aren't missing a thing. In fact, you are gaining everything. You will emerge with a renewed backbone in your spirit, a new breath song inside you, and a new flame behind your gaze. Let it continue for as long as God appoints. The longer the incubation, the deeper the unveiling. Trust the pace of your becoming. Your usual hunger for sound has faded. Your desire to scroll has dissolved. Your pull toward company has loosened. And none of that is accidental. God is lowering the world's volume so He can raise the whisper in your soul. You are not turning withdrawn. You are becoming spiritually attuned. You are remembering how to listen again, not with your ears, but with the inner chambers of your heart. This shutdown is a cleansing of your inner frequency. All that background noise that made you doubt yourself, question your path, compare your journey, God is silencing every fragment of it. Why? Because the instructions for your next season require quiet. They are not being yelled. They are being streamed into you, and you cannot absorb downloads while distracted. Heaven's tone is intentional, not thunderous. And right now, that tone is sharpening. With every hour of rest, you are not being abandoned. You are being prepared. The reason your appetite for distraction, chatter, and stimulation has faded is because your spirit is aligning with a higher wavelength. Something significant is about to be spoken into your life, and the doorway to it begins in silence. What is unfolding in these coming days is not ordinary. It is not simply sleep. It is not a routine pause. It is reconstruction. This is sacred surgery. God is entering the hidden corridors of your heart and removing blockages you never knew were choking your blessing. He is cutting away disbelief. He is stitching together forgotten dreams. He is planting courage where fear used to breathe. You may not be conscious of it, but your spirit is lying on heaven's operating table, and the instruments God is using are grace, love, mercy, and truth. He is rewiring your automatic patterns. You will no longer default to worry, to rushing, to pleasing, to trembling. After this supernatural operation, your instincts will be governed by faith. Your thinking will sharpen. Your love will deepen. Your walk will stabilize because He is repairing your inner framework. Do not fear the quiet. It is your sanctuary. Do not attempt to hurry the process. It is your recovery. And do not try to wake before your time. Transformations like this are not crafted in sunlight. They unfold in the hidden chambers of surrender. Let God complete what He began. This is not sleep. This is metamorphosis. And when it concludes, you will never return to the person you were. The moment your eyes open, truly open, everything will appear changed. The mirror will reflect a radiance you haven't seen in years. You will carry a serenity, a grounded power, a calm authority that didn't come from knowledge or mentorship. It was born from divine rebirth. You won't walk the way you once did. You won't speak as you once spoke. You will carry spiritual weight without trying. People will look at you and pause because the version they remember no longer exists. You will enter any room and alter the atmosphere. Why? Because you have been in the presence of God, and those who dwell there never return unchanged. You have been under spiritual reconstruction, and now you are the living expression of breakthrough. Wisdom will flow naturally from your voice. Rest will settle on your shoulders. Your simple presence will prophesy because God didn't just ease your burden. He rebuilt your being. You've been sensing the pressure, the irritation of not progressing, not launching, not producing the way you expected. But listen closely. God is not withholding from you. He is expanding you. He isn't slow. He is strategic. Before He entrusts you with larger assignments, He must widen your capacity to sustain them. This delay is divine strength training. You are becoming fortified in places that once crumbled easily. Right now, God is placing weight on you before giving you visibility. He is giving you depth before granting exposure. He sees what is ahead, and He will not send you into that dimension with shallow roots. You are not being overlooked. You are being intricately re-engineered. Expansion doesn't always resemble movement. Many times it appears as divine stillness. But trust this, when God builds slowly, He builds unshakably. You've been asking, why not yet? And heaven's reply is, I am ensuring that what comes next will not crush you. God is strengthening your thoughts, your spirit, your boundaries, your sight. What looked like waiting was actually wiring. You are not stagnant. You are being internally strengthened. The opportunity ahead is not only large, it is blessed. And you will need every measure of this new endurance to walk into it with peace. So treat this time with honor. Don't resent it. Respect it. This pause is God's preparation. Every silent moment is a blueprint. Every quiet hour is another layer of spiritual muscle. And when movement begins again, you will realize you are no longer the person who stepped into this season. You are not simply anticipating a new level. You have become someone capable of carrying it. Everyone around you may seem to be sprint
Promotions rise, platforms shift, crowds surge ahead, and you remain still. Yet what if their pace was never meant to be yours? What if your calling was upward instead of onward? What if the quiet surrounding you is not emptiness, but the subtle sound of your spirit gaining altitude? This is not stagnation. This is separation. The divine is lifting you into a realm where the steps are fewer and the path grows thinner. The higher you ascend, the lighter the air becomes. And not every soul can breathe where you are headed. That is why God slowed your steps, not to restrain you, but to strengthen your lungs for the elevations of glory waiting above you. You are not behind. You are being trained for the heights. You were created for rare air. You were shaped to shift the atmosphere around you. And with that kind of spiritual influence comes a call to deeper purity. God is refining your expectations, raising your thresholds, recalibrating your inner rhythm, and teaching you a new way of breathing. What feels like limitation is actually sacred sharpening. The greater the call, the more focused the preparation. Resist the urge to envy their stride. Honor your ascent. God isn't late. He's lifting you carefully, breath by breath, surrender by surrender, prayer by prayer. And when you finally witness the horizon from the place he is taking you, gratitude will wash over you for every moment he kept you from running with the many, because your destiny has always been to rise with the few. There are chapters in your story that God himself is closing because you refuse to. People, locations, routines, thought patterns, you have outgrown them. Yet you kept them alive out of habit, fear, or misplaced loyalty. In his mercy, God is stepping in to end what you were too emotionally tied to release. It stings. You may feel disoriented. You may long for pieces that were never healthy for you. And that is all right, because God isn't just severing bonds, he's dissolving soul ties. He's stripping the remnants of identities you clung to that were never truly yours. This quiet you feel right now is not abandonment, it is divine rerouting. It is God whispering that you no longer fit in the doorway you kept trying to squeeze through. You're not being punished. You're being liberated. Sometimes he has to break your loyalty to people in order to protect your loyalty to him. He does not ask for explanations, nor does he require closure. He asks for trust. What is ahead cannot be built upon emotional debris. You cannot grasp the future if your hands still clutch the fragments of yesterday. So, let him sweep the room. Let him empty what has expired. Let him remove the ones who were only assigned to a temporary chapter. The ache you feel is not your ending. It is the opening of a blank page. And believe me, the lines he writes next will make you question. Why did you ever try to remain where you no longer belonged?
You have always been the strong one, the dependable one, the one who carries others when they falter. But that strength, admirable as it is, came at a cost. It trained you to rely only on yourself, to fortify your heart, to silence your own needs. And now God is removing that hardened armor, not to shame you, but to restore you. He is peeling away what looked like courage, but was actually survival. You became strong because you had no other option. You did not ask to bear that weight. But now you are safe in his hands, and he is uncovering the real you beneath the layers, the tender you, the honest you, the you that aches and wonders and longs to feel softness again. Here, you do not need to impress. You do not need to hold anything together. You can tremble, you can fall apart. You can be completely undone, and still he will call you his. You are not losing strength. You are discovering truth. Real strength is not forged by pretending you're unbreakable. It's shaped in surrender, in stillness, in deep intimacy. Collapse if you must. Let yourself sink into him. It is not weakness. It is worship. And when you rise again, you will not return as the strong one, but as the healed one, the whole one, the divinely restored one. You learned to labor before you learned to breathe. You tied your worth to your output. At some point, achievement became a shield for wounds you never addressed. But God is ending the race that has exhausted your soul. He is detoxing you from performance. This fatigue you feel is not from failure. It's from years of running without rest. God is placing his hand upon your pace and saying, stop striving, start receiving. He is teaching you to inhabit life, not outrun it. To live, not just to accomplish. To be understood, not just utilized. This pause is no longer optional. It is holy necessity. Burnout is not your inheritance. Anxiety is not your identity. You were crafted for rhythms of renewal, not cycles of endless pressure. In this quiet, God is uprooting the lie that your value is measured by output. He's planting the truth that you are loved in silence, cherished in stillness, held even when you do nothing. And once your soul tastes this grace, you will refuse to return to the old way. You will create more with less strain. You will move slower, yet carry greater weight. You will no longer be driven by panic, but led by peace. You were moving in one direction. You had mapped it out. The goals, the confirmations, the assurances. And suddenly everything shifted. The familiar terrain vanished, and your sense of direction blurred. But hear this clearly, you are not lost. You are being redirected. This divine turn is not discipline, it is protection. Heaven is recalculating your journey so that you arrive with fewer wounds and greater resilience. Though you may feel like you are wandering, heaven is guiding you with exact intention. What appears to be delay is the pathway of destiny bending into shape. Do not chase old maps. That season is over, that route has expired, and the tools you once used no longer apply. This is growth unfolding before you. God is not trying to confuse you. He is untangling you from rigid thinking. Life is not a straight line. It is a spirit-led unfolding. And this unexpected curve in your story is where he rewrites your ending with greater beauty than you imagined. You do not need to see the full picture. You only need to trust the shift. Every closed road was really God whispering, "Let me guide you now. You have not failed. You have simply changed direction." The path beneath you may feel strange, but it leads to grace and rest. It feels like your voice, your true voice, the voice that once carried presence, shifted energy, and breathed life into weary spaces, is returning. But before it returns in its fullness, it must pass through silence. God is drawing you into a season where he dims the noise so your voice can be reborn with purity. You've spoken for too long from pain, expectation, and survival. You learned how to converse in ways that pleased others, but muted your calling. Now God is sanctifying your speech. He is touching your mouth as he did with ancient prophets, burning away falsehood, shame, insecurity, and every echo that does not belong to your destiny. When you speak again, your words will not sound like explanations. They will sound like transformation. If you don't feel like speaking right now, that is all right. The silence is not hollow. It is gestation. God is pouring new language into you, new revelation, new depth. You're not losing your voice. You're discovering its real tone. And when the moment comes to release it again, it will not tremble. It will resonate with divine certainty. Prepare yourself. When your voice rises again, it will not be timid. It will be clear, weighty, consecrated, no longer shaped by fear, but carved by freedom. And what flows from your mouth will dismantle chains, not just for you, but for generations. You've endured storms, betrayal, heartbreak, silent wounds.